駆け抜け青春スパーキング。さーて、今日の青春部は
Listen, enjoying your youth is only as hard as you make it out to be. Alright? You could have easily contacted Hibiki before you two decided to go out on a date because you have a fucking person on the inside. Alright? Be like, hey Hibiki, we're going out on a date. And then Hibiki is like, oh cool. By the way, we cancelled the club meeting, so no one is at the club room, which means that they're probably gonna be out and about somewhere. So, no complaining you. This isn't a critique, by the way. This isn't a critique on the route. This is a criticism on Yu's part, or Ritsu's as well. But you could have very easily avoided this. But at the same time, if I had the choice between you informing Hibiki that he's going on a shopping date with Ritsu, or and you saying nothing, I would prefer you saying nothing 100 out of 100 times because of how funny the interactions were. Alright?
響ちゃん、プールサイドでもモテモテ。リツ、子供用プールでも違和感ゼロ。ユウはむっつりスケベの3本です。
You're sure worked up first thing in the morning. As planned, the youth collective had come to Kazushi for the day. Save for Jerry, who was under the weather, everyone else was present.
じゃんけんぽん。
Annoying. Was she the daughter of the Fugata family or something?
響ちゃん、私子供用プールなんて行かないよ。
Fugata family. I don't know that reference. Lifting yourself up by putting others down. What an awful tactic.
すべては人気のためよ。これで私のグッズが売れまくって B さんも大喜び。響、さすがに飛ばしすぎだから。
No, I still don't know the reference.
小日向さんは水着の時はテンション高めですよね。
She imitated the superhero last time around too.
それは見たかったですね。
なあ、それより早く帰ろうぜ。ここは水着の女が多すぎて怖いんだ。
Well, at least you're consistent. But also, you should know this. Not if you're not including the youth collective because you don't see them as girls, there would still be a lot of women in bikinis at a water park. But okay, you get used to it already, or just don't show up. It's not that hard.
お兄ちゃん、私行きたいとこがあるんだけど、一緒に行ってくれる？
Ritsu tugged me by the hand. Unsurprisingly, she didn't link arms with me like she had the day before, now that everyone was around. Sure, where? But you said... No, you... You know, maybe she should. Alright, hear me out. Everyone has seen her link arms with you. Right? So, shouldn't it be weirder that she doesn't? I'm trying to think of this from their perspective, right? Because okay, all of them have seen her link arms with you. Will they think of it as like as like a Brocon thing, as something that you is tolerating from Ritsu and whenever they're alone together? But then there's also the fact that they were doing it in public, right? So surely Ritsu and you wouldn't be dumb enough to link arms together because they think that they wouldn't be seen by someone they know, right? I don't know. Yeah.
あれだよ
Sure, where? I don't know if I said that. Ritsu pointed straight at the water slide. It was pretty high up.
あれはなかなかスリリングな施設ですね。かなり角度急らしいわよ。私も知ってます。スピードが出すぎて水着が抜けちゃう方もいるとか。
Yeah, I remember doing that with Shiori. She got crazy. She was crazy.
そうなの？それは恥ずかしいわね。でも、あれを無事クリアしたカップルはうまくいくって噂もあるのよ。
Oh, so that's why there are so many couples. Upon closer inspection, it was mostly pairs of young men and women waiting in line, and that's why Ritsu wants to do it, because, it's just a sibling thing, all right? It's not because Ritsu and you are dating or anything. It's just a sibling thing, right? She's just a brocon. She's not. Never mind.
だったら、遠野くんとりっちゃんじゃ。さあ、いってらっしゃい、二人とも。
Hibiki cut Kashima off and gave Ritsu and I a push on the back. Okay, listen, I understand that Ritsu and you have been acting sus, but you don't need to be acting sus as well. Especially since you're the closest to both of them. If she was supporting our relationship, she kinda doesn't have a choice.
はい、ビキちゃん、ありがとう。
Even if she wasn't supportive of it, it doesn't, like, what is she gonna do about it? Ritsu looked up at Hibiki with damp eyes. Therein resided the sparkling camaraderie between girls.
いいのよ。思いっきり滑ってらっしゃい。リツの胸なら抵抗が少ないから絶対脱げないから。
And that's why only Shiori only Shiori got a CG of that water slide. because he was the most compatible with it? Never mind.
ひびきちゃんは一言多いよね。
The mood sure changed in an instant.
いいから、ユウ、リツを連れて行きなさい。それとも、神楽坂と行く？
おう、ユウ、俺はいいぞ。
Ritsu, let's go. I wasted no time and took Ritsu to stand in line.
少しは考えてくれよ。
Yeah, but listen, Shinji, I'm just looking out for you. Right? Look at this line, right? This is the couples line. And you know how many and you know what that means? That's a lot of women in bikinis. You don't want to be around them, right? Listen, man, I'm just looking out for you. Think of me as being the sacrificial lamb, all right? I'm not doing this for any other reason other than to look out for you, all right? Sorry, Shinji. I give my sister / girlfriend priority here. That was what youth meant to me.
高いね、お兄ちゃん。
Yeah. It seriously is steep. Damn. It seriously is a steep angle. We waited around 10 minutes for our turn. Now then, should we slide down first and have me? Should you slide down first and have me go after you? Or do you want to do the opposite?
はい、兄消えた。
Okay, yeah, way to throw me under the bus.
このスーパーユウくんはボッシュートです。
Way to throw me down the slide, I guess. Sister, that's an outdated joke. We were in the Reiwa era now, you know?
お兄ちゃんが私を後ろから抱きしめながら一緒に滑るが正解です。
Once again, I don't know the reference. I feel like a lot of references in this scene have been very Japan focused. Right? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I know every reference of every fucking piece of media outside of Japan, right? But yeah. Huh? Won't that be dangerous? Not to mention Ritsu's backside would be against my crotch. Wouldn't that be even more risky?
いいからいいから。さ、お兄ちゃん座って。
Guess I have to. She pestered me into it, and I reluctantly assumed the position.
お兄ちゃんと一緒。
See, this is the difference between a main girl and a side character, right? A main character gets a full CG, and a side character only gets an SD CG of the equivalent action. My sister was innocently overjoyed. As for her brother, on the other hand, 2, 3, 5, 7. I was counting prime numbers, so I wouldn't react to the sensation of her soft behind. Men sure had it bad.
Let's go! 兄、スタート!
Sure, 11, 13. At my sister's shout, it was the you and Ritsu waterslide bout. 19, 23. I was trying to think of prime numbers. I can't think of them as, well, it's only up to 20. It's not that hard. Hey, Ritsu, calm down. Don't rub your butt against me. My lower half was in trouble. Whoa, it's 31, it's 37, 41. I counted frantically. Prime numbers were the only thing currently keeping keeping my sense of reason intact. Well, to be fair, if you're focused on only thinking of prime numbers, you won't have the brain capacity to think of other things, right? But that's if you only keep thinking about prime numbers. Hang in there, it's almost over. Both Ritsu and my crotch. What? No wait. I missed one. I was barely holding on as it was. It would cause even more problems if I touched any more of her bare skin. Come on. Where's the next prime number? She burst into tears. Clearly crocodile tears, however. Like this. Regardless, I had the sort of sister complex where I did as I was told. She was immediately back in good spirits. Ritsu snugly pressed her back against my chest. 83, 89, 91. Crap, I messed up. I miscounted the prime numbers. The only thing I had been relying on. Listen, just maybe not start from the beginning, but like start a few numbers later, alright? Fucking, what's the next one? You know, start at like 101? 103? I don't remember. I don't know. The very second I lost focus. That's just the water, alright? That's the water. Are you sure it's not your imagination? I had to do something, or this would affect my good name. How good of a name do you still have after being labeled a syscon? I deliberately feigned ignorance. Listen, it would only work if Ritsu was trying to not show her brother complex. Alright? Because now that you're dating, you know, he doesn't have to worry about not knowing or acting like she doesn't know it's your fucking boner.
兄のエッチ
What are you talking about, Ritsu? I pretended to be as calm as I could,
ここは
as could
硬く
be.
なってるじゃん口ではそんなこと言っても体は正直だね
I didn't think my sister would say that to me. Things had taken a turn for the worse. Although I was the one being ridiculed here.
やっぱり胸が小さくてもいいんだねお兄ちゃんの徒長した股間がそれを雄弁に物語っているよ
You could say, I understand that you're in a slide, but like, could you say that any louder? She tried to change her posture so that she could touch my hard you-know-what. Hey, watch out! We were about to wind up looking like it. What do you mean? How do you end up like that in the fucking slide? We were about to wind up looking like the number 69. Which is not a prime number, unfortunately. Why was I... Yeah, I don't know why... I had to second guess myself. No, it is not a prime number. Why was I going down a water slide in this acrobatic position? Because 23 times 3 is 69. Ritsu, girls shouldn't do something so Hey, forward! Face forward!
もう水面が
Don't talk, you'll swallow water. You need cover a mouth.
水柱が立ちました
見てたけど誰かがウォータースライダーでふざけたみたいよ
いけませんね迷惑行為です
Boy, I sure hope there isn't that trope where the girl's bra is suddenly removed because she hit the water too hard. That would be a shame. I'm saying that both sarcastically and not, because I'm too lazy to censor, but that doesn't mean I won't if there is a naked sprite. Never mind.
ねえところでさ
I mean, it's not like I haven't done it before.
あそこで水面で両足出して逆立ちしてる二人何シンクロ
ちっとも動かないわね
んどっかで見たような足なんだが
Why were you so focused on legs, Shinji?
リツとユウだったりして
Yeah. Maybe.
いえいえまさかそんな
当たり前でしょまさかあの二人が
すみませんそろそろ現実を見た方がいいかと
They are in denial.
せーの今助けるよ
Lag. Very laggy. Everyone from the Youth Collective rescued Ritsu and I on the verge of drowning. Later, we got a stern lecture from Kaido and Kashima. I knew it. I knew. Youth was far more uncool than I had imagined.
食べたどうして泳いだ後のカレーってあんなに美味しいのかしら
Well, I'm slightly disappointed that there was no nude sprite, but I shouldn't be surprised because there has never been one in this game.
ほらユウ見てお腹こんなに
You trying to make Ritsu jealous? After lunch, we were all having tea at the restaurant. Hibiki and I were alone by the poolside. Ah. So that you and Hibiki can make Ritsu jealous together. She asked me to join her, noting it was something she wanted to discuss in private. So, what's up?
あお腹見ないんだ
I can't exactly stare at a girl in a swimsuit,
相変わらず真面目ね
except for Ritsu. Hibiki grinned, smiling mischievously.
それともあそこにいる子にミサオを立ててるのかしら
Oh, I already lost it. You don't need to... Never mind. I followed Hibiki's gaze.
ささ
Ritsu was likely observing us from a distance and quickly hid herself. What is she doing?
バカね。気になってるのよ。愛しい彼氏が他の女の子と二人きりなんだから。
Huh? You're my childhood friend, and also a girl, so
幼馴染でもよ。
you know about us and gave us your support.
それでも女の子は不安なの。
Is that how it works?
そうよ。覚えておきなさいよ。はあ。あんたは女心にはほんと疎いわね。
Hibiki shrugged with a look of exasperation. Romance and anything youth-like always seemed disconnected from my own life,
生きるのに必死で。
even though that's the whole point of this visual novel. As disconnected as he thinks it is, he basically has a harem. Yeah, life was a struggle. I spent every waking moment studying to keep my scholarship. I worked tirelessly to cover our living expenses, all for the sake of bypassing my youth to become a full-fledged adult. But you smashed that lifestyle of mine to smithereens, not in a good way. You didn't do it in a good way.
何それひどい。
Do you remember what you said to me when we reunited? When we reunited?
いろいろ言ったと思うけど。どれ？
Back then you told me.
ねえ、ユウ、私、あんたが羨ましいわ。
Say what now? Yeah, this was one of the first scenes of the game. It's been too long.
だから、あんたが羨ましいのよ。
Were you even listening to me? Hey, did you hear me right?
ユウ、辛いって字と幸せって字は似てるでしょ？
They share similar letters, I guess.
そうよ。10にすることが大切よね。
Yeah, I remember this. I remember that line. What are you trying to get at?
わかんない子ね。つまり、十分辛い目にあった人は幸せになれるってことなのよ。つまり、ユウは今、つれーじゃなくて、幸せの途中をハッピーロードを突き進んでいる真っ最中なのよ。羨ましいぞ、この子の。
There were times when life got pretty rough. Nobody had ever told me they were jealous of me before. To be honest, I thought you were an idiot. She is.
あんた、そのバカ正直なとこは直しなさい。っていうか、一発パンチいい？
Hibiki's clenched a fist. Hibiki's clenched a fist. Sure, with her temple quaking. I mean, it works, but like, you couldn't have just said Hibiki clenched her fist? Hold on, I have more to say. I think what you said actually saved me.
Huh?
Up until then, I didn't have a very high opinion of myself. I was a refugee from youth, disconnected and abnormal from my peers.
青春難民って。
So much has happened since then, and now I'm really enjoying my life to the fullest. I'm in a relationship with the girl I love, have fun with friends, and it all started with you. Thank you, Hibiki. I bowed my head to my childhood friend.
やめてよね。私は思った通りにしただけよ。あんたが変わったからでしょ。私関係ないし。
Either way, I'm glad I got to see you again. I hope you'll be around from now on. I held my right hand out to Hibiki. Hang on a minute. You're doing this fully aware that you're being spied on by Ritsu?
水着の女の子には触っていいの？
There are no perverse feelings behind this. It's friendship, nothing more. Yeah, but like, is Ritsu gonna think that way? This is a part of youth too, right?
はいはい。青春難民脱出おめでとう。
Hibiki took my hand somewhat carelessly. She had, however, put a surprising degree of force behind her grip. Ah, and what was it you needed?
ああ、私の用事はね、これよ。
Oh, whoa! Hibiki suddenly tugged on my arm and threw me off balance. And then, with a series of exaggerated noises, dropped me right into the pool. Hey, what are you doing?
うっさいわね。私なりのけじめよ。あー、すっきりした。律大事にしなさいよ。じゃあね。
Hibiki said that in parting and briskly walked off. Yeesh, what a troublemaker. I got out of the pool and watched Hibiki walk away. Her shoulders were trembling faintly. I wondered why. Yeah, I wonder why. Listen, I know you're denser than a black hole, but like, come on, man. My chest ached, if only slightly. I mean, I get that this route is very much tied to Hibiki because the events in this route affect you and Ritsu the most. Right? But we never get this part of her. Alright, we never get this side of Ritsu, of Hibiki in any other route. Not even in Nagiko's. You know, the only other character you'd think would be closely tied to Hibiki, you know, her fucking cousin. And sure, you get snippets of it, right, with Ritsu and Nagiko, but not to this extent. It's usually like a one-off thing where it's like, okay, well, when Hibiki says this certain thing to Riri or Nagiko, obviously she is encouraging them to date you, but in a way where she's making it, you know, it's like, well, if you don't date him, I will. And obviously she's saying that because she likes you, but this is different. Right? Ritsu and you are already together, and she's still feeling this way. But well, how would I say this? I mean, it's not like Hibiki suddenly stopped liking you after Riri or Nagiko started dating him, but we never see this part of her in those routes. Only now. And I hate it. Not because it's Hibiki, but because where was this in any other route? Right? This makes her so much better. This route has elevated Hibiki's status to the point where I don't even feel bad anymore that she's not last place. I mean, I joke about that, but like seriously, she is such a better character in this fucking route. Like not only justifying justifying the actions she did in the common route. I guess you could say that. But also being very respectful to you and Ritsu, right? Clearly completely different to her respective route, where she very quickly announced in the club in the meeting after they started dating that they had sex with each other, right? And I mean, I guess the stakes are higher if Hibiki mentions that you and Ritsu are not only dating but are engaged, and it's like, oh, it's because they're not blood related, but no one else knew that, right? It's weird. And you know, is it because she's been put in this unique situation where her character can shine even brighter, right? You get so many more good sides to Hibiki in Ritsu's route because of how unique of a scenario this is. You get what I mean? I didn't understand what that feeling meant. All I could do was watch my childhood friend fade into the distance.
駆け抜け青春スパーキングありがとうございました。またのご来店をお待ちしております。
Ritsu and I were working today, and we were swamped the second the doors
オーダー
opened.
入ります。アイスコーヒー2つです。
あ、追加でもう2つお願いします。アイスティーとクリームソーダ入りました。
Partially since it was summer break, there was a non-stop flood of customers pouring into the restaurant. It's not even lunch hour. It's so busy. It's going to be hell come lunchtime. Will the kitchen be able to handle it? Hibiki was also working today, but she was still only on dish duty.
ああ、遠野くん。厨房のことなんだけど。
The manager and I brought up the same subject. Am I going in?
それだとフロアの交通整理が不安かも。気持ちよく過ごしてもらいつつ、お客さんをたくさん回転させるの遠野くんうまいし。
I have the perfect candidate for the kitchen, and her name starts with a T. Because I'm using her last name as I'm putting her last name first. What do you do? What do we do then? We might be able to put Murakami or Suzuki on the grill.
りっちゃんに頼めないかな。
Huh? Ritsu? She certainly was a great cook. However, she was only supposed to be serving customers here.
この間、まかないで作ってもらったサンドイッチ美味しかったじゃない。かなりできるんじゃない？
That all depends on her. Hey, Ritsu, I mean, Tono, a moment please. See? Why do you think I said her name starts with a T? Because this is a professional environment. I called over Ritsu, who was in the middle of collecting plates and glasses.
お呼びでありますか、当のチーフ&店長。
Ritsu dashed to my side. They're still going on about the manager thing. For how quickly she moved, she wasn't running. Was she
りっ
hovering?
ちゃん、お願いがあるんだけど。
なんでありますか、店長殿。
Ritsu crossed her arms behind her back, tensed up her face, and bellowed from her belly. Quit talking like you're in the military. It'll put the customers off. You could just act like an ordinary modern day girl.
やばい、店長とチーフに呼ばれたし、マジ緊張、マジマンジ。
I mean, this is what you wanted, right? That's modern day brutal slang. Listen, it's much better than if she used slang from this year. Right? Not even this generation, right? This fucking year. Please act like you normally do.
Yes, my honey.
More normal than that. Even that still seemed dicey, but I wasn't about to hop on that now. It's bizarrely busy today.
今日は人気アイドルのライブがあるから、多分そのお客さんだと思うよ。
そんなのあったんだ。知ってた？遠野くん。
Nope, not a clue. Clearly. Crap. I hadn't done enough research. If I had, I would have organized the shifts around it.
アラスの解散ライブだからすっごい人来てるよ。
A male idol? That explains the sharp uptick in female guests. Ah, I thought it was all me. I guess I can't take all the credit.
わかった。僕、今からヘルプと女性客に人気の食材の追加頼んでくるよ。
The manager practically zoomed across the floor like Ritsu had done. Was that in style? Either way, what was more important right now? It's the new meta, all right. If you wanna wait tables faster, you have to learn how to hover 5 centimeters off the ground. Would you mind helping out in the kitchen today, Ritsu? we need your help on the grill. Listen, you provide a service that allows for a higher uptick in men, but the problem is the restaurant's already full of women, so you're useless out here. So like, go to the kitchen because you're a woman. I mean, because you're a good cook.
いいの？できるかな？
I'll speak to the kitchen staff. They're all good people who would certainly be willing to show you the ropes.
わかったよ。やってみる。
Great. Go ahead and head on back there.
Yes, my army.
Ritsu agreed and promptly headed to the kitchen. There was that hovering running style again. Should I learn how to do that too? On that note, Ritsu was put to work in the kitchen.
はいはいはいはい。はい、オムライス上がりました。
おー、素晴らしい。
I would also be very surprised. I can guarantee you there is a 99.99% chance that a home cook would crumble under the pressure in an actual kitchen. Especially on a day like this, where she has no experience in the kitchen. Like, brother, I get that. I get that they don't need to drag this on and be like, Ritsu's bad in the kitchen because this is her first time doing something like this, but she gets better, right? She has to be better She has to be phenomenal immediately. But like, you know, Ritsu was able to put her cooking skills to use.
オラオラオラオラオラオラオラオラ。はい、野菜の付け合わせできました。
なんて綺麗な盛り付けだ。飾り切りだ。和食の技法まで。
She proudly showed off her culinary skills.
当のシェフ、フォンドボーのテイスティングをお願いします。
So you've got Chief Tono, and now you've got Chef Tono.
わかりました。塩を小さじ1杯。いえ、小さじ半分足してください。それで完璧です。
精進します。当のシェフ、こちらの味見も。
By night time, she had reached the rank of Grand Chef. You know there's a title for that already. It's called Head Chef. I didn't know she was higher up than that in terms of kitchen hierarchy. Restaurant. Yeah, kitchen hierarchy. Ritsu, you're overdoing it. The rioters aren't allowed to make you this good in the kitchen. It had only taken her a day to win over the hearts of the kitchen staff. A prodigious young chef had burst onto the scene.
遠野くん、遠野くん。お客さんが帰り際、みんな美味しいって大評判だったよ。さっきはダンディーな紳士が、これをシェフにってチップ置いていったし。
Well, hang on a minute. That dandy gentleman must have been Western because people don't leave tips in Japan. The manager, what the fuck? Okay, maybe he really was Western. The manager flapped a 10,000 yen note in front of me. It certainly seems like this restaurant can earn at least 1 star next year, doesn't it? Can earn at least 1 star next year, doesn't it?
乗っちゃう？ガイド乗っちゃう？
Okay, maybe, you know, maybe my guess that the guest was Western wasn't far off because they're making it sound like he was from, would you call it the Michelin company? I mean, I guess, but that's what they're talking about, right? They're talking about a Michelin star, which was a rating system created by a tire company. This was a family restaurant, though. Hang on a minute. Don't act like just because this is a family restaurant doesn't mean it can't earn a Michelin star. All right, there's a restaurant in the airport that has a Michelin star. I've tried it out. It's pretty good. It's in Singapore. I wasn't sure if this was a good or bad thing. I mean, like, if they still have it or not is up for debate. But they at least had it.
疲れたよ
Good work today, Ritsu. She's only beat now after her 12-hour shift.
ちょっと本気出しすぎちゃった
Ritsu sat beside me and plopped her head onto my shoulder. You really overdid it.
お兄ちゃんの期待に応えたかったんだよ
You massively exceeded those expectations.
つい熱くなっちゃった
Like, listen, you know, a chef, they're expected to work those long hours. But you? Can you imagine the overtime pay? Isn't he meant to be working part-time hours? He worked a full-ass day.
料理では手が抜けないんだよ私お客さんは美味しいって言ってくれたかな
I'd imagine so. I showed Ritsu the 10,000 yen note I got from the manager.
1万円どうしたの
A customer left you a tip.
本
Ritsu's eyes widened with surprise. You're incredible. You'd probably be a huge success if you turned this into a career. So what you're saying is, this is very, you know, you can see the obvious progression here, right? When Ritsu graduates, she can be the head chef in your new restaurant because you will become the manager of this branch of this restaurant, right? Yeah, this specific one, and Ritsu can be the head chef, and Hibiki can be the dishwasher. Sure. I handed Ritsu the bill and patted her on the head. It was my expression of appreciation, not as her chief, but her brother.
料理は好きだけど私はもっと好きなことがあるし
Ritsu's eyes squinted fondly, and she leaned back against me. You should go down you should go down that path instead. Then, what kind of job is it? Your husband. What? Your being your wife.
お兄ちゃんのお嫁さんだよ
Wow, who'd have guessed? Being your husband. God fucking damn it. I was saying that from Yu's point of view. That's how you meant it? Amusing. And also a very obvious answer. My innocent little sister was so adorable. Probably should stop showing this much affection in public.
お兄ちゃんは就きたい仕事はないの前は公務員かホワイト企業の正社員って言ってたけど
No job in particular, really.
マジシャンとか
Not happening at my skill level. At my age, there were plenty of more highly skilled people out in the world. Besides, I didn't get into magic because I enjoyed it. I mused aloud. It would be fine to tell Ritsu. No, I wanted to tell her, and you're telling us too.
そうなの
Do you remember the first time you met Nagomi?
うん衝撃的だったもんね私とお兄ちゃんの前でいきなり不思議なものを今からあなたに見せてあげるわそう言って何も持ってない手からお菓子を2つ出したんだよね
Looking back on it now, that was a pretty basic sleight of hand. At the time, she had been wearing a loose-fitting sweater. All she had done was to produce hidden sweets from her long sleeves. The basics of basics. The basic of basics. A super beginner-level bit of magic.
それで考えてること何でも当てられちゃって私あの時はなごみさん本当に魔法使いかと思っちゃった
That's what led me to learn mind reading. Even now, that moment was seared into my brain. In no time at all, I pleaded with her. I want that skill for myself.
お兄ちゃんその場でなごみさんに弟子入りしたよね
I was desperate. I just had to learn it in no time. Had to learn it at the time. I needed to know how that woman truly felt. I accidentally said that out loud. The reason why I had wanted to read minds.
どういうこと
because she wanted to he wanted to understand the mentality of his mum. Back then, I'd had a fair share of doubts about that woman, that she might betray my stepfather and betray us.
Huh?
Ritsu was shocked. I'm sorry, I've never been able to tell you before. I was afraid of hurting him or you, so I always kept it to myself. But now that I've made up my mind, and to be with you for the rest of our lives, I don't want to keep secrets from you anymore. Is that alright? I turned toward Ritsu. Ritsu nodded firmly. I'm pretty sure that woman, who was my mother, got remarried to stepfather, then immediately found herself a new man.
嘘。
Not that unbelievable.
お父さんが亡くなる少し前だってなごみさんは言ってたけど。
Nagomi, her little sister after all. Nagomi's her little sister after all. She was protecting her. I've had my suspicions for the longest time.
どうしてそう思ったの？
By sheer coincidence, I saw that woman's cell phone call history. I lost count of how many entries were listed under my name. But I was in elementary school at the time and didn't have a cell phone. Isn't that weird?
お母さんが浮気相手の番号をお兄ちゃんの名前で登録してたってこと？
No, it's not only weird, it's fucking creepy. What the fuck? Imagine if you were, well, maybe it's because he was a little kid. It didn't really dawn on him as to how creepy that sounds. But imagine you look through one of your parents' phones and you see your name, right? And you know, not in the way that it's just a generic name, right? It's like your name's John and the contact of someone of the partner your parent is cheating on is also named John, and that's just the name that they put in the contact, right? It is specifically your name that is put in this contact. They could have picked any other name, and it would have been as believable, I guess, of a fake name as yours. Because in this context specifically, you doesn't have a phone number. You doesn't have a cell phone. So there is no reason why you's mum would have his contact information. So why did she put you's name as the guy she's cheating on? You's dad with, or guess stepdad for this instance.
そんな、まさか息子の名前で。
I called that number on that woman's cell phone once. The man who picked up sounded like a young university student, and he said her name. My mother's name was Yumi. Right. Okay. Yeah, no. She cared so little about her son that she just used the first part of her name and made it his. Are you sure? Hopefully the kanji is different at least, right? I said, I'm her son. Who are you?
その人、なんて答えたの？
I'm Yumi's boyfriend. I hung my head with a wincing smile. I got scared and immediately hung up.
そんなことが。
That was why I wanted to know which way that woman would choose.
お兄ちゃん。
Well, you didn't need to learn magic to know which way she would choose, because you got your answer eventually. I never had the courage to ask her directly, though. If I had, our family would be through. Still, I couldn't deceive you and stepfather forever. So back then, I wanted to know. Something hot. Oh, mom truly fell from my cheeks. Without anyone else knowing. I was crying. I'm sorry, Ritsu. I apologized to my sister as I cried. She silently shook her head from side to side. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I kept this from you all this time. Even so, I continued to apologize. Tears arose in the corners of my sister's eyes as she kept on vigorously shaking her head. I'm sorry, stepfather. I sobbed and apologized over and over again to my stepfather, who is no longer in this world. If only I had told him sooner. If only I hadn't been selfish for wanting to live together with him and Ritsu. I wouldn't have hurt him so much.
お兄ちゃんは何も悪くないよ。
She replied tearfully, then held my head against her chest.
お父さんもきっとお兄ちゃんに見とられて幸せだったよ。
You think so?
絶対思ってる。私にはわかるよ。だからもう自分を責めないで。お願いだよ。
Ritsu. Thank you. I hugged her back. She had a fair smaller, more slender frame than mine, and yet I was fully engulfed in this body, by this body of hers right now.
今まで一人で辛かったんだね。私のために黙ってくれてたんだね。好き。私、やっぱりお兄ちゃんが大好きだよ。優しいお兄ちゃんが世界で一番好き。
She gently patted my back. It felt as though my heart had become lighter. I had been forgiven. That was how I genuinely felt to me. Ritsu, I'm sorry. I'm alright now. I pulled away from Ritsu and wiped away my tears.
もっと甘えてもいいんだよ。
No, I'm the big brother.
兄だって妹に甘えていいんだよ。
I love you, Ritsu. Those words came out so very naturally. Thank goodness. I'm so thankful that I had met this girl.
私もだよ。
I'll put my life on the line to make you happy.
ありがとう。私もお兄ちゃんを幸せにするよ。
Ritsu. I couldn't hold back any longer. I'm very conflicted about this. Not in terms of the events that happened, but in terms of the fact that doing this in public, right? And I mean, like, I get it. There has to be a reason. There has to be a point in this route where I guess the other characters have to find out about Ritsu and you dating. Right? And I know this is a very natural response to the things that you has been talking about. But it's just, you know, I guess it's I guess the reason I'm conflicted over this is because of the simple fact that it kind of makes sense. Right? You know, it was a very clean segue into talking about the things that he was talking about, right? Going from how, you know, going from that busy fucking day and having Ritsu working that in the kitchen, and is like, wow, she has a very good job prospect if she decides to become a chef or something, right? And it's like, okay, well, she doesn't want to do that. She wants to be Yu's. She would rather be Yu's wife. And I mean, like, it's very cute, right? It's like, well, you could do that regardless, but yeah, it's cute regardless. And then it's like going to be like, well, what about you? What if you wanted to be a magician? And that was a natural segue into talking about why he learned it in the first place, and about the stuff, you know, the emotional baggage that he was finally able to let off his chest. This is the best route in the game, hands down. And it's not a this scene is not a critique. Not any of the stuff he was talking about his mom, and not any of the stuff that he's doing right now with Ritsu. And it's such a good scene. It's why I'm so conflicted over it, because it's such a good scene. And I know where this is going to go, and it kind of diminishes the impact this scene holds. I don't think I'm saying it in the right way. I shared a kiss with my sister.
お姉ちゃん。お姉ちゃん。好き。お姉ちゃんが好きな気持ちが止まらないよ。
She briefly parted her lips from mine. However, a thin thread of saliva is still connected between us. I feel the same way. It's like the other thing is like they're so in their own world that I can guarantee they wouldn't notice. They wouldn't notice anyone else if they walked into the room. All things considered, I still want you.
そうなの？ちょっと失礼します。